Hello and welcome to our Northern Gunners Gonna Get You podcast, episode 2, with myself, Lewis Roper, and my two trusted friends, Matthew Simkis and Tom Mason. How are you both doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right tonight. Thank you, mate. How are yourself?
Yes, I'm not bad. Good after a win. What do you think about that, Tom?
Yeah. Good. Yeah, bit of positivity finally after a week of depression.
It's a weird one, though, isn't it? I've never been more abject about a win. I don't think it was like I was sat there watching the game, and like it was nice to see the girls going in some at points some nice football, but I don't know. It just felt very, I don't know, hard to get up for. Yeah, meaningless and hard to get up for. I suppose that's right. Yeah, it was just still a tough watch. I mean, there was points in the game when West Brom was still better than us. It's just a win that papers over the very large cracks in the club at the minute, I guess.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was nice to see, like say, some goals going in. Some decent.
Pepe's goal was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But William finally scored for us, eh?
Yeah,
about time.
Yeah, to be fair, he had an all right game as well, but a bit little
in a game that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, could have done that in the semi, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just going on from, like I said, the doom and gloom of going out the Europa League, first of 4 dead rubber games, really, against West Brom. Yeah, so we won a game, finally, at home. We scored a couple of goals, 3 goals, and also conceded a good goal as well from Pereira. I've got to say that to him as well. He looks very good for West Brom. So what do you think? Well, first of all, we'll just talk about West Brom because we actually relegated them after that win. What do you think will happen with Big Sam, first of all? Do you think he'll stay or do you think he'll go with West Brom?
I think they'll try to keep him, but I don't think he'll stay. I think he'll do his normal. He'll come away from them and wait for the next team that's desperately trying to keep up in the Premier League to give him a go. That's what I personally think they'll do with Big Sam.
Is that us then next season, do you think? Possibly.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
God, I hope it never gets that bad. Could you imagine?
The Cronkies have got him on speed dial.
No, but I mean that, first of all, when I was watching the game, Pereira had that shot that just went wide past Leno's post. I was fearing the worst, to be fair, because it came out actually the better side, really, wasn't they, before we, took control and scored that first goal. I mean, how did you think the game started?
Well, before the game, I was similar. I was thinking they've got everything to play for. We've got now. We're probably going to lose 1-0 after dominating a game, but that was what I felt like going into it. I don't think we started great, but we dominated the possession for the majority of it. We never look like scoring a goal, which is really frustrating. I just don't see like what we used to as Arsenal fans is like nice attacking football, even when we weren't necessarily winning trophies. But now that seems to have gone out the window as well.
Yeah. What do you think, Tom, about it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought West Brom were pretty passive, really, considering they were supposed to be, fighting against relegation. We had some good moments. We created some good chances. Played better than we have been, but was that down to the fact that we were playing a relegation for the team, really?
Yeah, because either side of the Villarreal match, we beat Newcastle convincingly, we beat West Brom convincingly, but there's a totally different level there to the teams we've been struggling against.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it was good to see Saka at left back again. I think he was one of the standout performers, along with Emile Smith-Rowe, and I think Willian had a very good game as well. I mean, like I say, I know it's only West Brom and it is a dead rubber game, but it's about time we saw that from him, especially with a free kick. He's had how many this season? But
and the thing that's important with these games to the end of the season, even though we haven't really got much to play for, if winning all 4 or like the 3 that are left would give a big boost for next season, regardless. But I think I can't see us winning the remaining 3. I think we'll struggle at Chelsea. Palace is going to be difficult, and so is Brighton. So it's just a case of getting some sort of results out of these to at least give us some positivity for next season, I guess.
Yeah. Our fancies against Chelsea, to be honest. I think cup final at the weekend, they'll have one eye on that. probably rest a few. I know they've got a fantastic squad, but we'll probably rest a few of their big name players. So I think I fancy us to get something there. I really do.
It'd be nice because that'd be the first time we've done a double over Chelsea since was it 04 when we went? Yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah,
we do very well at Stamford Bridge, do we?
No, there's not been many great moments there in the last 10, 15 years that I can think of.
No.
No, I think we've got a chance. I mean, like you said with the cup final, I think like Man U today, while we're recording now, they've rested a few players, didn't they, this evening? I think Chelsea will do the same. I'd be happy with a draw there, I think. But I mean, really, there's nothing to play for with these 3 games. It's more just pride and trudging on to next season and seeing what we need to be doing in the transfer window. I mean, do you two agree on that? Or do you think we can still push into that, top 6, 7, even if we can make it?
I think if we can win our 3 remaining games, I don't see there's a reason why we can't make European place, but we're relying on a lot of results going our way, even if we win our 3. It's not like we've got a leapfrog 1 team. We've got 2 or 3 teams in front of us, and we need every result to go our way for us to even have a chance.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'd prefer us not to be in Europe, to be honest, next season. Do a reset. I think Liverpool did the same when Klopp first came in. They missed out on Europe
as well, didn't they?
Yeah. I think it'll do us good to not be playing Thursday, Sunday. Give Arteta a bit more time with the players on the training pitch as well. So I wouldn't be bothered about us missing out on that, to be honest. I really wouldn't. Plus, we don't want to get in the Europa League conference, whatever it is. Really don't want to get in that.
No, that's a lot of games as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the best. I mean, looking at the game against West Brom, the only one thing I didn't like about Arteta, again, was that he was playing Ceballos in the middle. Now, when you look at West Brom's goal, he just ghosted past Ceballos again. He's like, he's got no pace. He just gets stuck in the grass kind of thing and just stands there and just lets players run past him. But he wasn't like that last season, and I don't understand what's happened to him this season. I mean, what do you two think of the Ceballos situation recently?
Well, I don't think he's made any secret that he's homesick for playing back in the league, whether that's for Madrid or not. I mean, the other thing with the Ceballos thing, the fact that he was even in the squad for that game when he's openly said that he's not going to be here next year, I don't see the point in giving him any more minutes, personally. No,
I don't. Definitely, he's taking up minutes of players that we should be, trying out and giving chances to that are going to be here next season. Watching him run back and try and catch Pereira, it was just looking at Mesut Ozil against Gareth Barry in the 2010 World Cup. It was like he was running through treacle. It was abysmal, really.
At least
it was so slow.
At least Ozil offered stuff going the other way.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know. Yeah, obviously, like you say, he's homesick for La Liga, going back to Spain. And if that's the case, then why we're wasting our time giving him minutes in the last couple of games?
I just think ultimately his style doesn't fit the pace of the Premier League, which is becoming more and more apparent.
But he didn't have a bad season last season. I just don't understand really how this season it's dropped off again.
There was a lot of disruption last year, though, wasn't there? So maybe that's part of it. I mean, you could argue that because of what went on, that nobody was really up to match fitness for a large point of when the restart happened. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of factors that could have. I mean, maybe he wanted it more because he knew that he wouldn't get in the Madrid team this season. So maybe he was playing his heart out to get another loan with Arsenal to get some game time. You just don't know what was happening there.
No. Plus, other teams could be targeting him for being a weak link in the midfield, pace-wise, and now he's been there a year. They've figured out, his weaknesses really, and it's people running at him and running beyond him. He's just not got the legs to keep up with them. So it could be an element to that in it as well, really.
No, and it doesn't have that thing that Xhaka has, because Xhaka's not the fastest, but you don't see people walking past him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got
definitely. I mean, looking ahead to our next game then, which is Chelsea. I mean, would you stick with like the same team that will put out on Sunday, or do you give the fringe players a go, like your Cedrics, maybe a Balogun in for Nketiah, or starting
I'd like to see Balogun get some minutes. I'd drop Ceballos altogether. I don't see why we're resting Party and the likes when we've got no real big games. We might as well just play the best team we can till the end of the season and try and, if nothing else, get them more used to. Because I mean, the problem is this season it's chopped and changed so much. Like, there's no real midfield partnership. There's no real centre defence partnership. There's no real cohesion anywhere in the team because every other game there's a different pairing in the key positions. And I just think he needs to work out who the best midfield partnerships are, who the best people are to play at centre back, and stick with it and get them used to playing together because we don't have that at the minute.
No, definitely. I think we touched on that in the last pod, actually, that he just can't seem to make his mind up. Like you say, the pairings, centre-backs, centre-mid, the span of the team, other than the goalkeeper, chopping and changing the defence. I just don't think he knows either the system he wants to play or the best, his best starting lineup, really. He's all over the place with it.
Yeah. I mean, the one position he hadn't chopped and changed is goalkeeper. And we've seen a lot of rumours recently over the last week or so that Leno could be leaving. However, today on Sky Sports, I've read that he wants to actually stay and he doesn't know where all these rumours are coming from. I mean, what do you guys make of that? I mean, I think it's good that he's come out and said that he wants to stay. Do you think he should stay, or do you think maybe we should look at an alternative?
Personally, I'd be happy if he stayed. I think he's a good keeper. I think the mistake, don't get me wrong, he's not without flaws, but then I don't think you get many keepers that are without flaws nowadays. I don't think many modern keepers don't make mistakes, not like your Schmeichels and stuff like that. You don't get keepers like that that are sort of almost infallible, I suppose. But I just don't think. I think what. Sorry, to go back to my point before I went off track. I think what highlights the mistakes he does make even more is our inadequacy up front and our lack of creativity and our lack of goals. There's times when we've had enough possession where normally, going back to the Wenger days, we'd have scored 2 or 3, but it's remained 0-0 because we're just not creative enough. So whenever anybody in the team makes a mistake, it's just jumped on because everything's so negative because we're just not scoring the goals we used to. So I don't particularly think him personally has cost us any games. But I think it's just that he's focused on because a key moment in the game has cost a goal. But I think for the few goals maybe that he's been at fault for, I think he saved us much more in other games.
Yeah, I'd be happy for him to stay. Definitely, if he wants to stay. Like you said, he is a good goalkeeper. Are we going to go out there and spend 20-30 million pound on a replacement who potentially might not be any better when we need to be addressing other areas of the team, really? I think he should stay. He's a good keeper. He's reliable. These just could be rumours, total rumours about him wanting to leave. Keep him for me. The only thing I don't want us to do, though, I know he's in his last. Come July, I think he's 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah.
So we don't want him to be getting into the situation where he's running down to a single year left.
No, we need to make a decision whether we commit to him and offer him a longer deal or we totally change. Because if he's not the keeper that Arteta wants, he needs to make that decision this window.
Yeah, definitely.
And he needs to either say, "You're not my long-term keeper. We're going to replace you," or he needs to say, "You are my long-term keeper. He's another 3-year deal on top of what you've got, and we need to commit to him."
Yeah, we've lost so many players going into the last 2 years, into the last year. They end up leaving on a free. We can't let that happen anymore. So, like you say, he's got to make the decision this summer. If it's going to be his keeper, offer him a new deal.
Yeah, it's the same with Lacazette this year, isn't it? Like, he's only got a year left after this one, I believe. I mean, in regards to that, do we stick or twist? Personally, I like him. I think he gives more than Aubameyang sometimes. I think Aubameyang's more your goal scorer, but Lacazette gets more involved in the game. He can hold it up, knocks it about, and he also does get, the odd goals as well. So it's a tough one with Lacazette. Tough one, but I'd like to see him stay.
The strikers we've been linked with to replace him, I'd personally rather keep Lacazette for another couple of years.
There's a rumour today about Dembele from Lyon again.
Yeah, and I mean, he might come and do good. He might come and struggle to struggle. You never know, but there's a big difference between doing well in the Liga and coming straight to the Premier League and doing well straight off the bat. Whereas instead of getting in a player that might struggle for a couple of years to start finding his form from League One, in the Premier League, we might as well stick with Lacazette, who's now got a lot of Premier League experience, has probably still got a couple of good years left in him.
Mm. I think it all depends on what formation Arteta wants to play. I think if he's wanting to play with one up front, I think that's got to be Aubameyang. He can't play Aubameyang on the left for another season.
It don't work. We've got so many good wingers to waste that position on Aubameyang.
Exactly. So then he's going to have to play Aubameyang up front, which means Lacazette. He's going to have to be honest with him and say, look, your chances are going to be limited, or you're not going to be starting as many games. Now, whether he's going to accept that as well, coming into his last year, I think he's turns 30 in the summer.
Yeah.
Will he be wanting one last big move? I don't know.
Like I say, we've got Martinelli and Balogun as well. That's just signed a new contract. They can also play down the middle as well. So it's a tough one this season.
I mean, personally, I prefer Martinelli on the wing, but he can do a job up front. If you were really stuck, there's worse place to put as a strength forward than Martinelli.
Yeah, we could play Emile Smith-Rowe as a false now and again.
Or we could give Eddie Nketiah any game time whatsoever.
But more about away from potential outgoings to potential incomings. There's heavily linked rumours with the Brighton midfielder Bissouma, and also the French player from Rennes, if someone can remind me of his name.
Camavinga.
Yes, so they're linked with ourselves. I mean, Bissouma more linked heavily, and that he could be handing in a transfer request to try and push in a move for us. I mean, would you think that's a good signing if he did put that transfer request in and try and force a move?
Well, I think it'd be nice to sign somebody that's got Premier League experience, whether or not he can make, because it's even where Arsenal are at the minute, it's very different performing for Brighton to then going to a club like Arsenal where the pressures are very different. So if he could come to us, handle that, and with his Premier League experience, I think he could do a job. I think if we had a midfield to choose from three midfielders of Xhaka, Partey, and him next season, I think that's a better place than we are now. On top of that, is it Aziz as well from the youth? I mean, can he play centre mid?
Yeah.
But I think a key position we need to sort out is the link between centre mid and striker, and why we're struggling to create so many chances with really quite a talented forward line. It's so flat sometimes, and there's just no impetus. That's what we need to sort out, whether that's making Odegaard permanent, giving him a more prominent role, moving Smith-Rowe a bit deeper maybe. I mean, he looks all right against West Brom at centre mid. Do we keep Torreira? Do we keep Guendouzi? Do we keep Maitland-Niles? I mean, there's a lot of options there. We just need to work out. Well, Arteta needs to work out what he wants from his team and stick with a starting 11 that plays the majority of games, so we'll get some cohesion. Yeah,
I like Bissouma. Like you said, Premier League experience. I think he will help with what you were just touching on with the transition from midfield to attack. I think he can do that, and I think he'd form a really good double pivot with Partey in the middle of the pitch. I really do. And like you say, I've Xhaka as a backup. I do like Xhaka this season. He's grown on me this year. He really has. So I wouldn't want to lose someone like Xhaka. So I do think if them three as an option in the middle would be good. We've got to start looking at that profile of player as well, though, because that's something we've lacked. Sort of young, athletic that can get up and down, rather than just our traditional plodders. We need to be. That's the type of profile of player we need to be targeting, not people. I've seen us linked today with like Ryan Bertrand. Coming to the end of the career, we don't want that. We want people on the up.
You might as well have Xhaka as your backup left back instead of signing Bertrand.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Getting someone like Bertrand in. I've been linked with a few people today, and I just thought, what, if they come off and we're going nowhere. People coming towards the end of their careers, they don't want to be, pushing a club forward and striving for success. They want people...
I mean, or try and promote someone from the youth as well. We've got that. Is it Lopez at left back? who's meant to be very, very good.
Yeah.
Why not promote him and give him, cup games, give him a bit of pre-season, see what he's like.
What we need is to add to the energy in the team we've got, because we need to be careful, or Tina's going to be looking elsewhere. Saka might end up looking elsewhere just so they can get some success. We need to really be complimenting them and getting the players in that win them trophies, or we're going to lose our youth talent.
Yeah. And
and on Twitter today, Arsenal Twitter is quite funny. I do like looking at the Arsenal Twitter. But I've seen a few tweets today that Stan Kroenke could be giving us up to 200 million in the window with player sales.
I think that's the only thing he can do. If he's going to remain in charge, he's going to have to stump up the money to stop some of this. We can't go through a full season of Kroenke out matches because it'll just be too disruptive. He's either going to have to stump up and put in some money into the team, or he's going to have to sell. I mean, I don't think he'll ever be forgiven, or I don't think he'll ever be any Arsenal fans' favourite. But he needs to do something to put the crowd, the fans, at least enough ease to stop every home game being a Kroenke out protest, because it's just not a good environment to be moving forward in for Arsenal at the minute. We need to get that resolved before the football club can move forward.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. It's if we were higher up in the league, if we were pushing for the Premier League title, still in the Champions League, the protest wouldn't be happening, I don't think. Man City fans aren't protesting. Chelsea fans aren't protesting too hard. I think it all comes down to success and the ambition of your owner.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, a protest is planned, I think, for the last game of the season against Brighton at home. I mean, really, that might, if they do it again like successful the last time, I mean, it made the news, it was on Sky Sports News, it was everywhere. It does show that fans do have a voice, and maybe Stan needs to see that and not keep sending his son out to the
I'm quite supportive of protesting and fans having a voice and doing it when we need to, but we couldn't have that negativity for a full season. It's already hard enough at the minute as it is without added negativity that we could avoid.
No, I totally agree. I mean, what do you think to the last game of the season, possibly allowing up to 10,000 fans in? Do you think that'll make a difference maybe to the team?
It's going to go one way or another, isn't it? It's either going to make it harder or it's going to be a big boost for them.
What do you think, Tom?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be good to have fans back. I'm sure the players will appreciate it. I really do, because I think that has been sort of massively missed this season. There's no coincidence. I think there's more teams are winning away from home than home victories, which it's got to be down to the lack of fans. So I think the players will really appreciate it. Even if it's only 10,000, I think it'll make a big difference to them. And it'd be nice for the last, home game of the season. I think the fans who were in there will get behind the team no matter what, to be honest with you.
I hope so, because if we get a load of fans in stand, it just turns into a Kroenke out for 90 minutes, then it's almost the equivalent of having no fans in there.
Yeah, I agree. They need to be positive and get behind the team. Just end this. All right, the season's not going how we wanted it. Nobody wanted the season to go it has. So end on a positive note and push on in the summer and look to progress next season.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like I say, we've got Chelsea tomorrow. I mean, I'm just going to take your score predictions on that one. I'm going to start first. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think, like I say, they will rest a few players. And I think, like I say, if we can just nick one and go 1-0 up, they may peg us back. But I don't think we'll lose this game. I think we'll take a point. Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we'll get something, definitely. I'm fancying a victory, to be honest. I don't know why, but I just am. A 2-1 victory.
And Matt, what do you think?
I hate to be negative, but I'm going with a 3-1 loss.
Really?
As much as I hate it, because I don't like Chelsea at all, but I just, at the minute, the way we're playing, I don't think it matters whether it's Chelsea's second team or half and half. I just think they're in a good place at the minute. Like, they've been a couple of finals, they're doing well in the league. I think just the fact that they're in a much better place than us and that their squad's buzzing because they're doing well, I think that'll carry them through, and I think we'll get beat tomorrow, as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, William might have a masterclass there and score a couple of free kicks.
I hope so. Hopefully Xhaka will score a couple and I might get some more members into the Xhaka fan club.
Yeah, how's that going? How many you got now?
I'm still the only member, but it's going all right.
No, I'd like to see, like I said, just a couple of fringe players get in. I'd like to see Cedric at right back. I do want to see him. I want to see Murray. I want to see, even Chambers maybe even playing in that centre mid role just for a game. I mean, just experiment with the team. Like I said, we've got 3 games left. Just play the players are going to be there next season in your plans.
I'd play Holding and Gabriel at centre back tomorrow.
Would you?
I think along with Saliba and probably Murray as well. I think they're going to be the 4 centre backs we use over the next couple of years. I can't see us rushing out to replace or buy a centre back. Really, I mean, if Saliba lives up to his hype, and I think Gabriel will just go on to better things, and then having Holding and Murray as backups, I don't think that's too bad a place to be in. I think there's there's other positions with much dire need of strengthening than centre backs at the minute, I think. So I'd give Gabriel and I have Murray because I think Murray and Holding have done all right together as well. But I'd put a partnership out there that's going to be next year. I wouldn't play Louise. I'd play one of the 2 that's going to be next season.
Yeah, I think he'll put a strong team out. I do. I think he won't want us to go there and get turned over like 3, 4, 5. I
don't think he's
already
can
under
afford
pressure.
Not to, can he?
No, he's already under enough pressure, so I think he will put a strong team out. I don't think there'll be many fringe players in, to be honest. I think it'll be quite a strong lineup. To be fair, you can't blame him.
The battle that I am looking forward to seeing, though, if he plays and if he starts, is Kante versus Partey. I think that could be a good, interesting battle in the middle of the park.
It could be if Arteta plays a team that don't leave Partey as a lone midfielder fighting waves of people. If it's him and Xhaka, then I think that could be a good midfield battle. But just if with Ceballos or anyone, Partey with Ceballos just doesn't work. I mean, even El Nelly and Partey, that might work. I just think he needs somebody where.
I think that's what he'll go with.
Yeah, just somebody that he knows is going to be there, because at the minute, Ceballos is all over the place and it is basically our one-man midfield.
Yeah, I think he'll go with that centre midfield pairing, definitely. I think he'll go Gabriel and Holding, 2 centre-backs. Tierney could be back potentially, so I think if he's fit, he'll play him. And I think he'll play Chambers at right back.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just leaving it on this note, because we'll be recording the next podcast and it will be to include the Palace game. So I'm just going to get your score predictions on that as well. And then when we come to record the next podcast, we'll speak about both games and some more subjects if they arise. But I'm going to go for a comfortable win over Palace. I'm going to go 2-0. What do you think, Matt?
I'm going to go 3-1 against Palace. I'd also like to see players like Balogun get some minutes, and maybe Nelson again. Just give him a few minutes, see if there's anything worth holding on to, because he's got ability. It's just we need to work out whether or not we're going to keep him or not. So why not use the Palace and Brighton games to then play the fringe players? I agree with Tom. Put a strong squad out against Chelsea. Try and get a bit of. Try and get a win, try and get a bit of momentum going and a bit of a buzz back about the club, and then just try out some of the players like Balogun, for example. He's on a new contract. Why not give him some minutes and see what he can do?
Yeah. I think we'll beat Palace. I think 2-0. We are better away from home, funnily enough. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of teams tend to be this season. So I do think we'll beat Palace quite comfortably, actually. I think they've got nothing to play for. Can't go up, can't go down. They're probably players are already thinking about the summer holidays or the Euros. So, I expect us to win that.
Yeah, and we've got the Euros to look forward to after this dismal season. But, right, we'll leave that there then tonight, guys. And I just want to thank everyone that's listened, subscribed, liked, shared, everything to do with this podcast. We do appreciate it. And we'll come back to episode 3 next week then. But thank you too for coming on again.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having him.
No problem. Bye-bye.